live. We're going to do this full time for you, as you go through, and you can use all the tools available to manipulate either one of these. So here would just be an example of the interface looking at an Excel document. Also works with PowerPoint. In the past, you've had a lot of different people that have created, macros to extract property information from like AutoCAD blocks or Solid Edge blocks. And so now we've giving you an actual tool to go in and extract that block property information. And so not only are we going to extract the information, but we're going to go in Balloon, like your electrical schematics. And not only is it just going to generate a generic kind of parts list itself, but at any time you can go into the properties and under the options area, we're giving you some different list options for how you want to display that. So here I can say I want to list my blocks by occurrence. And so that'll take each item, item in out in its own balloon, item number, show us individual quantities or whatever information that you're looking for in the actual parts list itself. Or you can take that one step further and say I want to create some groups and some separate rows. And also if you're working with nested blocks, we're going to be able to work with those nested blocks as well and display that information and give you options on how you want to display that. So here's looking at the parts list with working with grouping that we got into the product back in ST5. So an example would be like I've got this group that's called ground. There's a quantity of 9, and then it's going to list out each of those items with their own independent item numbers. If we come into parts list and talking about balloons and looking at balloons, if I go into just a standard parts list command, I want to jump over into options and show you a couple options in here. So under the balloons tab, you'll notice that we have this area that's called create alignment shapes. This is turned on by default, and with the create alignment shapes, you'll notice that we give you several different types of patterns. So you can do outlines, place all your balloons or annotations across the top, bottom, left, right, or in a rectangular fashion. So you have different types of ways that you can display your actual balloons and annotations. So we'll just drop a parts list in, and then what you'll notice is back in ST5, we did a really good job of cleaning up balloons for you automatically, not crossing leaders and things of that nature. So what the alignment shape is going to do for us is as I grab a balloon, you'll notice that no matter where I move my cursor, this balloon is attached to that alignment shape, that hidden line. But hey, y'all, watch this as I grab this balloon and I put it into another balloon. Now, in addition with this alignment shape, if you grab the alignment shape pretty much anywhere, you can take that and you can move every balloon at one time. If you go to this little node or this midpoint and hold down, you can actually offset every balloon that is selected on the actual screen itself. Or you can go in and change one segment and pull it out of its original shape and generate a different shape that you're working with. Now, it's nice that all these balloons are attached to the alignment shape. So how do I unattach a balloon? If I hold down the Alt key and just grab a balloon at any time, I can detach that from the alignment shape and end up with something that looks like this. So now with those balloons, kind of out there on their own, what we can do is we can go in and we can manually create an alignment shape. So manual creation of an alignment shape can be, a straight line, like those other people do, or we can have a closed alignment shape, which those other people can't do. And so here I'm just going to do an open alignment shape, and you'll notice as it just hovers through each balloon, it's going to automatically pick that up. And again, I can just keep drawing whatever kind of shape that I want because we give you more functionality to work with your alignment shapes. And so now that these balloons are kind of out here on their own, I can go in, I can snap all of those into a horizontal, vertical position, just reposition, move them around wherever they need to go to suit my needs. When it comes to parts list, we did make some changes in the parts list area. In the past, you go into properties, and we can still do that. So if you go into properties of the parts list, you have all these wonderful tools to be able to manipulate, to get the look and feel that you're looking for, save settings. So all of that information is still in there. But what has changed is now if you double click a parts list, you're going to be in place editing. So at any time, I can go in and I can work with a lot of information at one time, just by simply dragging and dropping. I can use things, like selecting an individual cell, and I can change the font, make it bold, underline, italicize, change the justification of it. So a lot of different things, even merging of cells. So a lot of control over working with this. Now when selecting selecting, you can pick individual cells. You can use any kind of Microsoft tips and tricks, and use the shift key to pick multiples. You can drag, over a range of different things. And so when you go in, you just make these particular areas something different from any other area of our actual parts list itself. If there's a cell that I don't like, is property information. I want to have my own unique description or what have you. You can right mouse click any cell and go into cell override. And once you're inside of there, you can just type in, any kind of user information that you're looking for or that you need. And you'll notice that when you click outside of it, we're going to change the color of that cell. So a clear white background is basically indicating to the user that that particular cell has been overridden. If you ever need to get the appropriate property information back, you can clear that. Just remember it and bring all of that information back to you. All of your columns can be selected, so you can go in and say everything in that column on to center justify it. Drawing View Wizard has been through a major overhaul in Solid Edge ST6, and so now what you'll notice is a couple of things when you go into your Drawing View Wizard. The first thing is there's no more dialog box. If you are the type user that loves the dialog box, we do have options that you can turn those back on and work with it like you always have in the past. But basically, the new way is there's no dialog box. You'll notice that you get a preview of the drawing view that you're going to place. If you need to get back to certain areas of the old way in the dialog, up in the command ribbon, you can actually go in and get back to all of that information without having to sit there and click through the next button and all of that. And in addition to this, you'll notice that now we have this really nice thing where we can go in and create save settings. So at any time, I can create save settings and drawing views. So here, basically, I'm saying I want you to give me a simplified representation of this part, isometric, displacement headline information as well. And so this is something inside of my company that I do quite often, and so I can save that as a setting. If you choose not to use save settings, that's totally up to you. So here we can go in and create maybe like a right-hand view. And what you'll notice is we still have the ability to fold views, and so I can very quickly and easily go through here and just grab views and drag them off, generate whatever I'm looking for. Again, doing all of this without having to be driven through dialog box information. Last but not least, we've all seen drawings that kind of look like this, to where dimensions are kind of cluttered, especially if you retrieve dimensions. It's a wonderful tool inside of Solid Edge, but most users choose not to use it because they end up with a drawing that's going to kind of look like this. And so new to ST6, we have a command that's called arrange dimensions. Arrange dimensions simply means I can select this view, right mouse click, and look what happens to all of those dimensions. Every dimension very quick, very easily is going to be cleaned up. Okay, wait, take this one step further. Now all of these dimensions are also grouped together. So I've got a lot of grouping that goes on, and as a user controlling this drawing, at any point in time I can go in and ungroup or tell the software that I don't want it to group it as it's cleaning it up. So just a little overview of how this